All right, so this video is called The Caroline Bug Theory. Now, this video came out, I believe, 4 years ago, but I want to watch it anyway because why not? And it's also a Monday, so it's 8 minutes long. I know people don't really like watching videos on Monday sometimes or something like that. Hey, maybe you are different, but let's get into it.
I'm pretty sure most of you have at the very least heard of the 2009 stop-motion animated classic Coraline. Every time I watch Coraline, I get something new out of it, and I seem to gain a new sense of appreciation for just how much this film was doing. Obviously,
Yo, Caroline, not gonna lie, bro. As a kid, that shit used to scare the shit out of me, but it was so good at the same time. It was a good scary.
there's the creepiness and the beautiful animation, but there were storytelling elements that went above and beyond what most films cared to incorporate. I say films and not
I think, well, I don't know for sure, bro. Are they the same people that made that zombie movie with the, you know what I'm talking about? The kid, like he was like fucking doing it was like zombie presidents, dead presidents, or something like that. And like the only way they could rest is they put their book back or something like that. I forgot what it was called, but if y'all do know what I'm talking about, comment down below.
not just animated films, because that's just the truth. Many have theorized the details within Coraline and what their darker meaning was, and it's frustrating to hop into a Coraline video over 10 years after its release and try to say something
The mom with the button mom just saying it was a baddie. I'm just saying she was a baddie, hey.
new. But there is an aspect of the film that I feel hasn't been fully touched on, and that's the use of bugs. Coraline
I'm sorry, I'm not. I understand there's bugs and shit. I am not touching them with my hands. Hey, she better than me though.
is littered with bugs. A lot of people will immediately think back to the iconic final web scene, but then there's also the bug room, aka
Oh,
the room
fuck
where
no.
the door is. Within that room, you got bugs for furniture, bug wallpaper, Other Mother eats a bug at one point, but that's not the end of it. In this alternative universe, the dad rides a giant mechanical praying mantis. Coraline's bed has dragonfly decorations on top of it that later come alive.
Not gonna lie, that's not realistic enough. Because praying mantis, I believe if they was big, they would be the most menacing people of like they do not like people. I'm sorry.
Her bedside table has a praying mantis to hold up her picture frame. There are bugs in the shower. At one point, there are mosquitoes. She has a small bug hairpin that is worn consistently throughout the film. Ladies and gentlemen, the only car in the film is a Volkswagen Bug. I'll admit, this sounds a little jokey, which it is. I'm pretty sure adding a Volkswagen Bug was a very subtle way of having some fun with the material. But at the same time, for a film like this that puts in this level of detail, I just know all of this was placed here for a reason. And it was. Starting with the smaller stuff, let's just talk about the dragonflies. There's this blog post from Emmett Brady that goes pretty in-depth about a lot of this, so I'm going to be referencing it a lot, but dragonflies supposedly in European folklore are referred to as the devil's darning needles.
Oh,
Upon
wow.
doing some more research, one article states they were also reputed to sew up the mouths of naughty children, hence the devil's darning needles, and
Oh,
made
wow.
people blind and deaf, eye pokers, and ear cutters, which, just saying, is exactly the kinds of acts done in
But dragonflies are peaceful. Well, that's probably the myth down there. But like every time I go past a dragonfly, they're peaceful.
Coraline. It's the core conflict of the film. Another bug used is the praying mantis, used at first as a photo stand, but later turning evil as it functions as a machine used by the dad to attack Coraline. Mantids are usually looked at as harmless creatures. Sometimes people make music about them. They're pretty wise. Just look at Kung Fu Panda. But Coraline turns that idea on its head for the sake of horror, using the trustworthiness of a mantis as a means of—
As soon as I saw a video of the mantis eating the male's head after mating, I don't know.
control, putting other father in a violent position. Then there are the beetles and the cockroaches, which simultaneously play such a big role and such a small role at the same time. They function as most of the furniture in this bug room, almost like henchmen for Other Mother. Brady's explanation for this is that cockroaches and beetles are often always around, but we don't see them, which I guess is why they make for great furniture replacements. Furniture is also lifeless, giving it a sense of immortality, which lines up with cockroaches and the idea that you can't kill them, which also lines up with Other Mother's intentions of trying to live forever. And lastly, there is of course the spider, which is kind of the core of this entire
Is she the
thing
spider?
I'm getting at. Anyone who has seen the movie remembers the web scene, like I mentioned earlier, and that this entire time Other Mother was a spider, or a monster spider, or she's a spider, that's the point. It doesn't take much research to find that the meaning of spiders in folklore is not at all far away from what they are meant to represent in Coraline. On worldbirds.org, it said that spiders in dreams represent fear. Freud believed that dreaming of spiders represents the mother that devours her children, which she does through possessiveness or guilt. When you dream of
Oh wow.
spiders, you are dreaming of webs, ancient knowledge, language, intricacy, and creativity, the circle of life, transmutation, feminine power, and creation. Keep in mind, Coraline typically encounters Other Mother in this universe when she's dreaming. Is that not exactly
I would say though, that's kind of I like it's kind of confusing though. Like so, like like the movie itself is like I didn't really watch the plot. The plot I just watched it as a kid just to watch it. But like, so Other Mother, did she shapeshift to other kids' mom and just pretend that to be the better mom until she ate them, or is she just Caroline's mom, just in a different universe? Comment down below if y'all know.
what the Other Mother does to Coraline in the film? I also think the other bugs within the story are all working towards the spider, but I feel like this is pretty obvious considering their numerous attempts at harming Coraline and the button eyes that they have. The spider thing is weaved through the entire story, as the opening credits start with her essentially injecting this quote-unquote evil stuffing into the Coraline doll the way a spider injects poison into its prey, the way Other Mother is only ever seen eating a bug and her plates are consistently empty, the way she lacks the vision the way a spider does, how she uses surroundings as a means of luring rather than emotional attachment. But as usual, I gotta ask why. It's definitely cool that there are all these creative ways that the film implemented bugs into the story, but why did they do that? But I mean, it's creepy, but there's gotta be a cooler reason than that. I do think bugs are weaved through the story to serve a greater purpose, especially when taking into consideration the devouring mother trope. I don't doubt the core theme of the film is about a mother-daughter relationship, but I think it uses the idea of bugs, prey, and power dynamics as a means of driving that idea home. Coraline is, in a sense, a movie about control. The way a dog owner can still own their dog in the afterlife, the way an abusive relationship and work schedule can own Coraline's father, the way humans take control over animals through banana slug hunting or through circus mice, or even the way humans take control over other humans, using a spider and its easily manipulated prey, the bug, Coraline, as a means of conveying that. There's a small moment in the film that never feels fully explained or expanded
Oh wait, didn't she sew his mouth shut? I believe. I haven't watched Caroline in so long, bro.
on, but that leaves me with an eerie feeling. It's when Coraline and Wybie are going about their night and stop mid-conversation as they see a bright balloon mysteriously floating through the sky and into the top floor. They drop everything and, without saying a word, follow said balloon as if they're moths wandering towards the light, completely uncontrolled. Which is much more unsettling when you take into consideration that Other Mother is in control of this world, and she likely put that balloon there as soon as Coraline began to question the morality of Wybie's stitchings.
So she sees
all of that
she's like Monica,
just
Monica.
Really
she's like
makes
Monica
it
with Doki
feel
Doki.
like Coraline is the bug in this situation. In a blog post by Lottie McGuire, she writes that in fairy tales, insects are usually called upon to do impossible tasks, similar to how the bugs are treated in the other world. Which is true. Other Mother sends all these other bugs out to lure Coraline towards her, and she survives on this control. The only reason she's really alive is from stealing the souls of other children. The same way a spider survives only on control through creating webs and stealing the lives of other bugs. But
so she was a shapeshifter. Okay, that explains my thing. Okay, she was a shapeshifter and killed all the other kids, pretended to be their moms or dads or whatever.
Spiders can't help that, you know? That's just the way they are. We can't fix spiders, which I think is the same case for someone as abusive as Other Mother. Whereas Coraline's real mom is just emotionally neglectful, Other Mother loves Coraline, not for Coraline, but for herself in an insecure, validating way, which is crazy when we recall the beginning where Other Mother refills Coraline with bad stuffing, and that introduces another horror within the film, that Coraline is inherently her mother. But that's not to say the film doesn't end victorious in some way, as Coraline throws the hand down the hole and kills the Other Mother as well as the doll. I think it's also worth quickly mentioning that Coraline's real mother is specializing in gardening, which further proves the point that if she's studying or examining bugs and the way they interact or even disrupt her environment, the garden, that's almost the exact same way Other Mother looks at Coraline, as a disruption or something to be used rather than loved. But to wrap things up, I can admit that there isn't some secret subplot with bugs that I wish existed within the film, where maybe the cockroaches have a backstory we don't know about, but I do think bugs are a crucial part of what this film wants to say, that power dynamics within nature, no matter how minuscule, also exist in a form just as violent within households. And that's all I have to say about it. Thanks for watching. Make sure to check out Coraline and form your own opinion. And before you head out, I want to give a quick thank you to this week's sponsor, Squarespace.
But on a serious note though, I would say like nah, but on a serious note though, I will say like Caroline as a kid, that shit was terrifying. I didn't even understand the meaning of it. But now that like I've like well, I think this is just a theory, but like if you look at it though, it was a hell of bugs back then. It also was just weird. I would definitely rewatch it because I only watched it like once or twice, but my sister like watched it 24/7 because she loves that show. Well, to love the movie. But if they do come out with a Caroline 2, which is probably gonna be never, like it's probably, yo, by the time I'm probably like 25, that's probably what I'm gonna think about putting Caroline 2 together. But yeah, definitely like and subscribe and check out this content creator that we just reacted to. And oh yeah, check out that Schedule 1 video. It's definitely fire. You should watch it. But yeah, see you on the next one. Peace.